Am I pretty again? Okay. So here we are at the back of the machine, and I'm getting ready to align my pantograph, decide on my starting and ending points. But before I do that, I wanted to show you the pantograph and how it sort of works. So the dark colored design in the middle is the line we're going to be stitching. There are lighter colored designs on either side, and those are the repeats. So once we've stitched this dark colored design, we're going to roll the quilt forward, and this lighter colored repeat helps us figure out the alignment so we can maintain the same spacing that we see here on the paper pattern. All right, we're going to be following this line with our laser light, which is attached to the machine, and it's the laser light that's going to help me determine my beginning and ending points. So first of all, what I'm going to do is drop my needle in the very top corner of the quilt. That gives me just a beginning point to start with. Now, in theory, my needle and my laser light are in the same spot. So I'm going to manipulate my laser light in order to suit that top corner of the quilt. Since my needle is at the corner of the quilt, it represents the side border. So I'm going to lay out a piece of painter's tape to show myself where the beginning of the quilt is. And I just lay it out vertically aligned with my laser light. Once I have that laid out, I can shift the pattern side to side in order to get it to start how I want it. My personal preference is to start with that top corner nice and full of design, so I always find the high point and make sure that it's right there in the top corner. Where the black line intersects the green tape is going to be my starting point, and so I always give myself a dot there. This will be where I drop my needle, raise my needle, and bring up my bobbin thread and do my locking stitches. Now I want to make sure that this entire design is going to stay within the parameters of my quilt. So in order to make sure, I put the laser light over that high point, and then I'm going to peek over the edge, and I see that it is in fact over my quilt. It's a tiny bit low, so I'm going to bring the machine up where I would like the top of my design to be, and I'm going to shift my laser light to that position. Hang in there, laser light. All right, I'm going to do the same thing at the side to make sure that the side design is also going to be on the quilt and it looks really good. So now I can move down to the far end to figure out my ending point. So again, I'm going to drop the needle at this top corner, and I can lay a piece of painter's tape alongside the light. There we go. And what I see here is that the black line goes past the green tape and then comes back to the quilt side of the green tape. So rather than fall off the edge of my quilt, I'm going to redraw a bit of this design so that I can actually stay upon the surface of my quilt. So having plastic over my pantograph really helps me mark my starting and stops, and also any alterations I need to do on the design. I'm also going to give myself a small X to tell myself where I'm going to stop stitching. I'm now ready